Basically, I had first written a script that was intended for human actors. Like I just wrote the script when I was trying to make it happen to film it because I just really wanted to film it. The idea was presented, what if we did it with mannequins? It was kind of a joke. And then I said, no, maybe we could do that, and I kind of just latched on to this idea, how cheap it would be to make it with mannequins, and we could make it at our leisure. You could film on weekends and such. And it was kind of easy in some ways because the mannequins don't fight back or anything, like in terms of taking direction things. But moving the mannequins was a bit of a challenge because we had to do a lot of inventive things to move them. It was more or less a challenge, like I was just challenging myself, like without changing the script in any way to accommodate the mannequins. I was going to see, could I actually get through this project without changing anything in the script with mannequins? That was the challenge that I posed myself, John Knox, who was in another movie I had made, scary movie. He was actually nominated that year, I believe, that we did this. He was nominated for Winter's Bone, and so suddenly he blew up in the press, but we were lucky to get him to do this. We did the voices in one afternoon as like a radio play, and so all the actors sat in a circle with microphones, and like from beginning to end we just recorded the dialogue, like everyone's holding a script, and so we recorded the dialogue, and then after that was done, then I started filming. It was invited into the Fantasia Fest in Canada, and it played on Hollywood Boulevard at the Egyptian Theater, and we premiered it in Seattle at the Independent Film Festival. We were supposed to be in the Fantasia Fest there in Canada, which is a pretty prominent fest, and at the last minute they pulled it. Inglourious Basterds hit the spot. Then the next year they came around and they said, "Can we show it this year?" And I said, "Of course." We filmed it in my house. My wife at the time, we're not married now, but she voiced the wife, and she did a lot of the mannequin movement and stuff. I remember I interviewed a director of photography guy once for this, and he ended up not working on the movie, but he read the script, and I told him I was thinking I want to do it with mannequins. He's like, "I just don't think you can do it with mannequins." He goes, this movie's so sensual and Ava's sexy, and I don't think you can do it with mannequins, And I was like, I think I can do it with mannequins, yeah. And then I said, well, I'm going to just do the camera work myself. And really it was creatively fulfilling because I just felt like we were making something original, like nobody's really done it before. And so it was really fun making it. In color, I think the mannequins would look a little fakier. And I thought in black and white, the illusion of them being people would be better. I think that was the main thinking behind it. Because color tends to show things exactly how they are, and black and white gives it a more dreamy look, Most of it was filmed in my house, but when we did go out in public, like we went into IHOP. We shot that scene in IHOP, and they just let us do it. And there were people eating like next to us.
The response, the biggest one we got was when we sent the mannequin in the car to the car wash. People looking at, what are these crazy? What is going on here?
The premiere was in Seattle, but the Austin premiere was at the Village Theater, where scary movies always playing. And that night it was a packed house. It was a great night. But as a gag, we put Ramon, the villain mannequin, in the bathroom at the urinal. The funny thing was, though, because I thought it was a funny gag, that after the movie break, so people would go into the bathroom and there's Ramon at the urinal. But nobody noticed that he wasn't a mannequin. And we had Ava in the lobby, and people were taking pictures with her and stuff. To me, it was an experiment, and it was fun to make. But people respond very different to it, because I've had the extremes of someone standing up in the middle of it and applauding and just ecstatically loving it. And then I've also seen people walk out on it in the first 10 minutes and leave saying, that sucks, So I've seen the love and hate on it. I think if you just make it through the first 20 minutes, it's like easy after that. It's the beginning that's jarring because their mouths aren't moving. But once you get past a certain point, you sort of just fall into the spell of the movie and you just follow it. And that's kind of the experiment of it.